My name is Patricia Mumuni. I'm from Ghana, and I'm a partner in the corporate and commercial team of ENSafrica Ghana. So I come from a family, my grandma was illiterate, my mom semi-literate, and having had my dad pass on very early on in life, my mom raised me and my two siblings. And so just seeing the struggles that she went through as a single mother reinforced my goal to becoming somebody, because I didn't want to go through the same struggles that my mom went through. I wanted to provide a better life for her and for everyone. And so from very early on, I knew what I wanted, and I've been going for it since I was aware of myself and what I wanted in life. I joined the firm right from law school in 2012. That was the only law firm I applied to. At the time, it was Oxford and Beaumont. It was founded by Elikem and then Amina Kagwa at the time. And I joined 2012. In 2017, I became a senior associate. And then in 2021, which was last year, I became a partner. And you look at the journey from 2012 up until I made partner, you can tell there's been a lot of sweat and toil and a lot of hard work and sacrifices. In the firm, before you're promoted, you need to do something we call a PED. Other people call it an appraisal, but you need to go through a very rigorous process if you want to become partner. If you want to move from one level to the other, let's say you want to become from an associate to a senior associate, you need to go through the same rigorous process, even more rigorous when you want to become a partner, because if you become a partner, you are a leader of the firm and you're joining a partnership. And so the process is a very rigorous one. It goes to an independent committee, and this committee sits somewhere not in Accra and goes through all the documents that you have submitted. Some of the things that they look out for is how well you've done over the period in terms of fees, the work that you've done, the quality of work, how much you've been able to bring to the firm, what impact you have made in the firm in respect to other people who are junior to you. There's also a focus on women. What have you done to empower other women in the firm? Because I think the firm recognizes that the women have over the years been in the minority. And so there's a deliberate attempt to empower women. And so as a woman, I'm required, before I became partner, I was required to show what I had done for other women in the firm. So once the committee was satisfied with the responses, and I had to provide evidence. It's not just about telling them that I did A or I did B or I helped someone, I trained someone. They want to see evidence. And so I provided evidence in addition to the form that I completed. And so after they had seen all that, they were satisfied that I indeed deserved to be promoted to partner. Just to reiterate what I said earlier about the deliberate attempts in the firm to promote women, to put women at the decision-making table. Before 2019, when we had our first partner, female partner as ENS, we had 3 male partners for many, many years, and so it was a big moment where we had a first female partner, and the women at the table have been growing since. Now we have 4 female partners out of 9 partners in the Ghana office of ENSafrica. So we are making some strides. But you realize that there are societal prejudices, there are societal biases, which you can do very little about. I'll give you an example. So you go to a meeting and you walk into the room and you see how, I don't know if you can see my physique, but if you saw me standing, you would think that, oh, she looks so young. What is she doing here? Her card says she's a partner. Is she up to the task? This is a big job. Can she do it? Or sometimes they'll ask you, is there somebody else coming from your firm? Or expecting to see a male. So it is only when you start speaking or you start responding to questions or only when you do work for them that they realize that, she's really that good. As to whether I put in more work, if I'm looking around, I wouldn't say so, because I know that the men in the firm work equally hard. I think that as a woman, there are things that we cannot run away from. Things such as being primary caregivers, things such as going on maternity leave when you're pregnant, being wives. And so if you look at those things and you compare them to the men and their general experiences, you realize that, look, there's very little. So you need to sacrifice a lot more than the men. I would have to go home and stay up maybe a few hours more, whereas my colleague male would close maybe at 9 o'clock and go home and go to a very healthy dinner cooked by his wife. I would have to go home and go and make sure my husband is fed, my children are fed. I know that there are men who also do some of these things that I speak of. And you realize that generally the women are the ones that do that. It's a daily strategy. You wake up and you plan, daily planning. What has helped too is my mom's support over the period, support with my kids, just general support. I'll give an example. Today she called me, I made stew for you. Can you have someone, your driver, pick it up? And I'm like, okay, I don't have to think of making tomato stew because my mom has done that for me. So I receive immense support from that side. But for me personally, it's just daily planning, making sure I have people who can do stuff for me, delegation, let me say, being able to delegate. So I make sure my driver is on time, he picks up the kids in the afternoon, takes them home. I make sure there's somebody at home who receive the kids, who make sure they are fed in the evening, who make sure they go to bed on time. Just delegation has really helped me over the period, because I've just come to the realization, or I've accepted that I cannot do everything. So over the period I've been trying to delegate, and that I realize has helped a lot. I delegate, but I do not completely give all the responsibilities to other people, because I don't want to be an absentee mother. And so my weekends are precious. I try to spend all the time with the kids, taking them, we have to go for extra classes on Saturday, we'll do that. If it's swimming they have to do, I will take them swimming. If it's just sitting around when they are watching cartoons and mommy this, mommy that, that is fulfilling to me. And so my weekends are sacred. During the week, if I'm able to, we read when I get home in the evening before they go to bed. I cherish that a lot. But I mean, what has worked for me, one is planning, two is delegation, having the right people to do stuff for me. Three is having the support of my mom and my aunt. So family support has been immense. I do not know what I would do without the women, the strong women in my life. My husband has been exceptional. He is out of town most of the time, but when he's around, I know that, I don't have to rush home because he will take care of the things that have to be taken care of at home and make sure the kids are okay. So that is also, and he's a lawyer, so he understands the challenges. He understands the work ethic, because we're together before I became a lawyer. So he knows, and he's been there where we're married when I became a lawyer as well. So he seen me, he saw me, he saw the very early stages of my career, even when we were married. So he understood and accepted what the work was going to come with when we got married. So I didn't have to do any explaining. He already understood from the get-go. So that's generally my life and how I structure it to bring sanity, into everything that I do, to make sure my home is doing okay and my work is not suffering. Nothing comes easy. You need to work hard for anything that you really want. And you need to try to stay as focused as possible. A lot of the time when you are in a firm such as ours, you'll be looking over your shoulder at what's happening with this person. If this person is being promoted, why aren't I being promoted? I've heard that this person is paid better than me. Why am I? Just focus on your work. Do the best you can do. Be the best you can be. Put in time to learn. Be a reliable person. Give off your best. If your supervisor or your boss has 5 people and they ask your supervisor, I want to choose just 2 people to be on this team, make sure you are one of the 2 people, or your supervisor is required to choose only 1 person to form a team with, make sure you are that 1 person. And it takes a bit of sacrifice. If you want to be the best at anything at all, you need to sacrifice. You need to put in all the work that you can possibly put in if you want to stand out. Or when you look around, anybody that stands out, I mean, people would say that there's a bit of luck, but trust me, it is all hard work. You see people succeeding today, and when they tell you their stories, you realize that it's been sweat, toil, and tears. So that's the advice that I'll give to young women who want to be like me. So something I'm very passionate about is empowering younger girls. So as I speak to you now, I have 2 young girls who live with me. I'm not related to them in any way. They come from less privileged backgrounds. And I took them in to, sort of give them a chance at getting a better life than if they had stayed in the village. One of them would have been married by now if she wasn't with me. And I've put them in school. There's a 14-year-old and a 15-year-old, and they've been with me for about 3 years now. And I'm educating them. And so that's really my passion as a woman. That's how I think that I can impact the next generation. It may not be on a large scale, but as many people that I can help, I'm always happy to help. If it's a form of a mentorship, it doesn't always have to be a financial support that I'll be giving women, but just to be a mentor, just to give some guidance. That's my ultimate goal, just to be available to people, to be more relevant. And if we speak of women in the next 10 years in Ghana, I want to be one of the women making a change in Ghana. I mean, I'm saying this, I don't know how I'm going to achieve it. I guess like all the other things in my life, I need to plan on how I'm going to do it. But I think that is possible. And if I'm looking long term, that is what I want to focus I've started with my 2 girls, but I know that I can do it on a larger scale. So that's the plan and the desire. When I think of making an impact, that is how that's the direction in which I think.